on this All Hallows Eve. Happy Halloween. Thanks for joining us on episode 21 of This Week I'm Learning, the podcast where we wear crazy shit, apparently, because it's Halloween. I am your host, Brandon Vader. Hello, everyone.
Sith the whole time.
Sith the whole time. With a name like Vader, who else's team am I going to be playing for? So, episode 21 recorded, if you couldn't already tell, October 31st, 2020. As I said, I'm your host, Brandon Vader, also known as Dracanis. Below me is the Green Sus, also known as Psychonitrous.
Not sus. I'm
Cody
tasking.
Stratman.
Clearly tasking.
Hit that fucking button.
Clearly tasking.
Eject
Clearly
him.
not it.
I wouldn't trust him.
Faking tasks, for sure.
So faking tasks.
Some vents earlier.
Next to me, we have the kangaroo from Down Under. Charlie, also known as Mjolnir. Charlie Stiffler.
It's a stereotype.
Ah, fantastic, mate. And then what the hell are you,
Well, see,
Colton?
I couldn't get a real costume. So to celebrate, I am clueless.
I mean,
Yeah.
you should be blonde and stacked, but we'll accept it for now.
And that was a past life, don't worry.
From the movie Clueless, just making that clear for the younger audience members out there.
God.
Alicia
Not saying all
Silverstone.
blondes are, but that movie Clueless.
Yeah.
If you're clueless, go watch it.
It's a great movie, though. Very empowering.
What?
I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in forever. Again, the costume. I'm playing the part.
Jesus.
Fucking hilarious.
All right. Well, so today we're going to have a little bit shorter episode. Some of us apparently have a social life to attend to. So.
It's all right. I got a face
They
shield.
unlock towards the end.
Oops. I'm not supposed to have hands.
Oh, for shame.
Where's your little, I guess, child? Little green guy.
The little
Where's
copy
the
of
mini
yourself.
dude?
It's my
Got it.
backpack.
Yeah,
You know, spacesuits have to have backpacks.
This is true.
Maybe
No, they
one
don't.
day they won't.
Yeah. Elon's don't. I want Elon's
Well, his are-
spacesuit.
His are just pressure suits.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not. They're
Yeah.
not for outside.
Yeah.
But you'd still need a helmet and then a EV
Yeah.
pack.
I don't want one.
Huh.
It's
Wow.
cold out
Oh,
there.
you'll just die. It's okay.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, so this week, apparently, Cody is going to be following up on air travel, which, given his costume, is kind of
Very sus.
interesting. A very sus choice.
Scary.
People shouldn't be
you
suspicious
going
of
through
green.
Vents, isn't it? That's what air travel means. It's going through vents.
Only if
Oh.
you're John McClane.
Ah.
Yeah.
And Colton, yes, Colton, I can do this, is saying that the universe could end in an instant. And it's gonna suck. Because why wouldn't it?
But it's really gonna suck.
I know where that one's going.
I bet you
so-
do.
Are you saying that globally we'll all get sucked off before we get blown?
Potentially. Could be a universe thing. We don't know.
Younger audiences, please ignore that last statement. That was terrible.
Terrible.
Don't ask your parents. Actually, if you're that young, you better either be my child or why the hell are you on here?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's the internet,
our-
man.
Our 5 to 11 demographic is not really trending very well.
Not present.
That's
currently.
okay.
It's all right. It's explicit anyways. Charlie is going to tell us of the he's going to continue his episodes on the paranormal activities. It will be the last episode. And this time takes us across the pond.
It's true. It's true.
Possibly air travel.
Cheerio.
And Brandon, sail away, sail away, sail away. On the cruise of the damned?
Yes.
Ooh,
Okay.
terrifying.
Scary indeed.
Nice.
All right, well.
But first, some of us are in costumes that are not exactly conducive to doing this show for the entire duration. So we're going to make it a little hot in here and disrobe. Catch you guys here in a few minutes. Okay, well, let's get back into it now that we have all disrobed.
I'm ready.
Cody, follow us up on air travel.
So this is going to be kind of a short blurb on air travel and a random weird travel thing, related thing that I read today. So first of all, as far as air travel, we had a few airlines, aircraft manufacturers actually do their own independent COVID tests as to how likely is it to get COVID on a plane. Ooh, I'll take some Sour Patch Kids, please. Thank you.
No Sour Patch, all Airheads.
What?
You're
All
going to
right.
get egged.
No, yeah, he doesn't get to talk anymore. All right, so no. So, by the way, Sour Patch is number 1 in the USA. I know that because the 7-Eleven in Bangkok says that. True story.
You can believe stats
I have
from
pictures
a
to prove it.
Bangkok.
A matter of fact, look.
You better write that note
I was
right
gonna
now
say.
before you forget.
A little insight into how we edit and keep notes to ourselves. So
It's our producer.
Back where I was before I was interrupted by the lack of Sour Patch Kids. So we have Boeing, Airbus, Embraer, actually, and IATA all did their own versions of seeing how likely it is for you to catch COVID on the plane. And pretty much it comes down to is you're more likely to be struck by lightning. Now, interestingly enough, with lightning, there are certain mitigation things that you can do, and your likelihood is a lot worse if you live in a, I'd say central mountain state or someplace where, Colorado, for instance, and you're carrying around a pole on a golf course, you're more likely to get struck by lightning versus a subarctic rainforest where lightning strikes maybe 2 times per year. Yes, kapow. Nope.
Didn't work.
Have no power here.
No hammer lightning. Words.
I can pick it up, but I can't make lightning. That's sad.
It's all right, Thor. It's all right.
It's a common problem for men your age. I have no idea.
Oh,
3 kids, no kids.
burns. I hope no
Meh.
kids. Anyway. God.
Way off the rails.
Oh yeah, so each of
Already.
these airline or aircraft manufacturers did studies on it, and there were, let me check my notes. There were a few cases, 44 cases that were spread on aircraft, but this was before most of the airlines had mandatory mask policies. So if you're wearing your mask on an aircraft, again, this was episode 1. I think I talked about this, but I just wanted to follow up because things may have changed in it. I think it's important to do that. However, if you're crowding a jetway, that's a little bit more problematic. If you're taking your mask off in a lavatory, that could be a little bit more problematic. So a lot of these studies didn't do people moving throughout the plane. There was one of the studies where apparently they actually... Now, this is one source that I heard this from, so I didn't follow this up but I should have, where they were talking about infecting people with a different type of virus that's not actually problematic to humans to test the spread of that while on the aircraft. But a lot of the other ones did like dummy tests. I forget which one did that version of the test. At first I wanted to say Boeing, but I don't think it was actually Boeing that did that one. So, and then kind of out of left field, a random travel related segue is Thailand. Apparently they are letting people in with this new STV program, which means Special Tourist Visa. So when people say STV visa, that's like saying ATM machine. Because
Not to be confused with STV
or Los Angeles
visa.
Angels.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Which, by the way, Bangkok is also known as the City of Angels, too. That's part of the full name. It's actually has the longest place name. But I read an article this morning that said that they were doing tracking bracelets for tourists that are arriving, which so many questions I have about the implementation about that. But we'll see if that pans out. That's just interesting or to me, but whatever.
So are you talking like an electronic tracker that has like GPS information for contact tracing if they end up being exposed?
So it even has heart rate and temperature built into this thing. So yeah.
I like it.
Now, the reason why they're doing this is because Thailand they've had a couple of locally transmitted cases in the last few months, but it's only been in border regions. There was one where they were saying on Koh Samui, but that was somebody it was actually a French woman who got out of the quarantine and then apparently had symptoms afterwards. But really, there's no cases that have been community spread in Thailand. So and it's one of the reasons why they haven't opened up to tourists in 7 months. So that's why they're taking these drastic measures. And it seems like the people there are kind of split because some of them really want tourists. And then on the other hand, there's a lot of people that are going, no, we don't want people from these countries that have several million several million cases. So I can definitely understand that, as much as I don't want to wear a tracker, but then on the other hand, I carry one in my pocket. So
Call back to episode 20.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's the other part that I'm kind of confused about is, if you get a SIM card at the airport, then essentially you have a tracker. So, but it doesn't do temperature. I mean, that's the other part about it. But it is what it is. Also, I wanted to correct another thing from episode 6, where I said Alaska Airlines was joining oneworld in 2020. That is now no longer the case. They're going to join in 2021. So you'll be able to reap the benefits or see what changes in 2021. And also followed up from episode 17, where I forget which one of you it was that asked if Thailand's legal system was guilty until proven innocent or innocent until proven guilty. It is indeed innocent until proven guilty. So
that was me that asked, and thank you for providing that document. That was interesting to read through. It actually sounds like kind of like the United States in that way, and maybe a little better.
We'll link it. We'll link in the description
like
for our
more apt to
our listeners as well.
Yeah.
Their wording seems a lot more like pro-defendant than even our.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of strong labor laws there too. So if you're opening up a business and you have employees, there's a lot of labor protections.
Good.
That's a fantastic thing.
But and then the last part of my spiel. So I'm going to change up the way that I do my segment for the next quite a few episodes. And it's going to be, in some instances, every 2 weeks that I will give a spiel, unless there's a really important travel article that I have to be like, hey, guys. Otherwise, I am going to devote each 2 weeks to learning a new skill, whether it be one of them is going to be web development, one of them is going to be learning Thai, one of them is going to be learning to start a business, one of them is going to be getting my CCNA. So it basically is going to switch, and I'll give these 2 weeks I learned about that, which will allow me to give an in-depth briefing on what I've worked toward those previous 2 weeks. So you can look forward to that 2 or 3 weeks from now.
So what you're saying is that coming soon, not all of our topics will be
Lightly
lightly
researched.
researched?
Yeah.
Are you going to put this on your Striving to Fail channel? Because that is a perfect thing to put on your YouTube channel, Cody. I'm just saying.
And as you find certain tools that may aid you, maybe the Tech Pirate.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe contributing to the Tech Pirate.
So the Tech Pirate is going to look forward to the HTC Vive versus the Valve Index article that I'm working on, as well as the process of building the drone, and a few other things. Oh, GoPro Hero 9 as well.
I might riff off of your
Awesome.
headset because I am the other half of that equation. I've on the Oculus, and now I have the Windows headset and
Mixed reality.
Yeah, the mixed reality. And so between the two of us, we can get almost all 4 of the VR mainstream in the PC world.
I just need to get the Oculus Quest, and then we'll have the best one. So.
Didn't they decide they were discontinuing the Quest?
No, they just came out with the second
he's doing
one.
the
That
Quest
was the
2.
Go.
Oh.
By the way,
They
if you
were disqueuing the Go.
I have
Okay.
an important statement for you too, Colton. If you are getting the Quest 2, I've heard from several sources to get the Elite head strap for it. Unfortunately, it's like a $40
I have spent
piece of
about
plastic.
4 hours with both. One of my friends here in Tucson actually has both of them. So I got a very automatic quick comparison between the first one and the second one, and I'm not gonna lie, the second one is fucking incredible comparatively. So look forward to that article. That's what I will be contributing to the Tech Pirate one of these months.
Nice.
So much content. Ooh.
I believe it's time for Colton to tell us about the universe ending and how much it's not going to be fun or how much it's going to suck. That's probably the word there.
Boom. Hang on a sec. Let me get over there. Alrighty. I'm going to say us at This Week I'm Learning, our pro universe. Is anyone going to make a hot take and say they are against the universe right now?
I'm against all lies.
I mean,
No one asked no one asked the Sith.
Really? People are saying that I was sus, and we've got the Sith here in the group. Come on.
Okay, so there was 2 imposters, black and green. Okay. Come on.
Not with 4 players, man. Not with 4 players.
God, 2020 is a weird
and
year.
it's him.
So, what I am going to be talking about, basically I was watching a video on YouTube the other day, and I ran into this very fascinating video about vacuum decay. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of vacuum decay.
What?
So,
Is that where I
Yep.
have to replace my Dyson?
oh, there will be
No.
nothing left to replace. Basically, this concept in physics is considered the most complete way to erase the universe. And we're not talking black hole erase. We're talking like nothing. Nothing
Poof,
exists.
gone.
Nothing. Boom.
Smoke bomb.
Yep. Like nothing behind kind of erase. So basically kind of describe exactly what we're talking about in a vacuum here. Basically this is in terms of energy. Basically if you think of, well, very basic form of energy, potential energy, which is basically the amount of energy that a system has at any one point. So if you compare that to like the ball on top of a hill, the potential when you're holding that ball on top of the hill, the potential energy of that ball is, let's just say 100, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then as you let it go, the potential energy itself changes into kinetic energy, blah, blah, blah. And the potential energy goes down, kind of goes this. And when it gets to the bottom of the hill, the system itself, the ball, basically loses all potential energy. There's the system itself is basically neutral, or another way to describe it is a vacuum. Basically, a vacuum is where there is no energy left in the given system. So, kind of way to think about it. But what is the decay part of this? Have you guys heard of the Higgs boson field?
Oh yeah. CERN, the accelerator, the particle accelerator. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what the
Big
field
Bang Theory.
is? Like what is the?
I am lacking the 4-year degree in particle physics. Sorry.
It's okay. I spent like 10 minutes researching this. I got you. Essentially, this Higgs boson field is the energy field that imparts mass to everything. It literally gives mass to. It basically causes things to exist, at least according to theoretical physics. Stars, plants, people, freaking sus guys, Sith lords, all of them. Yeah. So basically, it's like an electric field in some ways. There are different parts of the field that have different strengths or potential energies. And basically what vacuum decay is, kind of basically is the idea that this field will essentially change its energy state and essentially destroy everything, potentially. So, again, if you think about it, if you think of the universe as the ball in that analogy earlier, about a trillionth of a second, again, theoretically, after the Big Bang, the universe essentially was at a weird state of energy, and it came down that hill, and then essentially, one of the theories is that it came into a valley in this energy field, and basically the universe itself basically became stable because there's no energy, because it's a vacuum. There's no energy left in the system, theoretically. But with vacuum decay, the theory is that little dip is actually not the true vacuum of the universe, the true state of no energy. There's a theory that potentially the Higgs boson field could change its energy state and continue down that path to a true vacuum, whatever that might be. Basically, it's a false. The idea is that it is a false vacuum because that's just a theory. With CERN and everything discovering the Higgs boson, the science behind it is starting to become a bit more, I guess, standardized. But how exactly could theoretically this energy state change? Basically a quantum tunneling of a particle of some sort through that energy field into the actual, what do you call it? The change in energy. Basically, again, so think of it like that. Potentially our universe is at this spot right here, a false vacuum or a false, I guess, equilibrium, you could think. A quantum event could theoretically potentially move the universe from this state to over here. And then at that point, essentially all matter can cease to exist, because again, the only reason there's anything at all is because a trillionth of a second after the universe was created, the Higgs boson field reached this state of equilibrium as we know today, gave everything mass, made the laws of physics, and so on and so forth. But in the event of a quantum tunneling, everything goes out the window. Atoms get torn apart. It's all chaos and a complete eraser of all information in this particular universe.
Good. So, like, next week?
That's the scary part, because technically there's no way to know if it can happen, if it's going to happen, if it's already in the process of happening. Theoretically, if this were to happen, we wouldn't even know it. It's faster than, the theory is that it's faster than light. It essentially poofs the universe out of existence as it is. So
it's not scary at all.
Saying I have to pay my mortgage until I don't.
Unfortunately, you do. So that's all right.
Well, I mean,
but you know what?
But people,
they're
come to your house.
That's true. Well, so that's kind of. I figured that was a good little science scary thing to talk about. Makes a black hole seem like a nice little walk in the park. Gamma ray burst feels like, again, a nice warm kiss compared to the utter annihilation to everything, physics, everything we have. That is scary to think about if you're thinking on that level. But again, nothing we could do. So
yeah,
enjoy your life.
Don't worry. Be happy.
Sail away. Sail away. Sail away.
Don't skip me.
I ain't skipping. So that's my little scary bit for Halloween. But I think Charlie might have to scare us on a little bit of a closer plane of existence, possibly.
Okay.
Take us away.
All right. So, this is going to conclude my Halloween series on the paranormal. By no means am I saying I'm never going to talk about it again on the podcast, because I have a lot of fun talking about it, but at least I'm going to be taking a break after Halloween for a little bit. So this particular investigation takes us across the pond into England. So I had the opportunity with a pretty medium-sized team of investigators to go across the pond and go to the Midlands of England in a town right next to Leeds, a town called Pontefract. There's a house in Pontefract. The address is 30 East Drive, Pontefract. It is known as the Black Monk House, and it is pretty well regarded as the most violent poltergeist in all of England. And when you
I say, sus.
Yes, very sus, very sus. But
I have no knowledge of this.
When we're talking about being the most haunted of England, you kind of put it in the top 10 list automatically in the world. In a lot of my research and reading books of paranormal and all that stuff, I have not found a house that is more active and weird than this one. That is not to say they don't exist and that they've just done a better job of killing everyone that goes in it. But personally, I have yet to find one that is spookier, but as awesome, but also weird. So, kind of the story. I hop on a plane from Denver after a 24 or a 10-hour shift on the ambulance. A plane. Fly out to Toronto, fly over to Heathrow, take a train from King's Cross up to Pontefract, hop on a bus, walk about 2.5 miles, and I arrive at the house the exact same moment as the rest of my team, who has been in England for like 5 or 6 days longer than me. They had investigated a haunted, abandoned metro tunnel in London. They had done some other really cool stuff in London, several other haunted places. But I wasn't able to join them for that part, unfortunately. I could only take 5 days. I couldn't take 2 weeks like they did. So we all pile into the house about the same time. And the owner of the house is a movie producer, a guy named Bill. He actually wrote and made a movie roughly based on the happenings of this house. and the name of the movie is The Night the Lights Went Out. And it's kind of vaguely about the house and kind of vaguely about paranormal things happening to a teenage girl in the house. And it doesn't tell the story of 30 East Drive, but there's a lot of parallels, and there's some liberty taken with some of the things they experienced. Anyways, so we're settling into the house. I use the loo, and Bill's like, "All right, well, I need to take Richard, and we need to go talk about the book deal because Richard wants to write a book about it." Says, "Well, we need to go over pint and talk about that." So Jason and Linda and I go to Tesco's, which is basically Walmart, and I get a couple 2 liters of my favorite soda in the entire world, Iron Brew. It is my favorite, and I get like a case of Crunchy Bars, which are my favorite candy bars in the world. Damn you, Nestle. Damn you, Nestle, and not being able to import them properly. While we're gone, the house does not sit quiet. We place a single voice recorder before we leave. Richard is very cognizant of that. And upon our return to the house, we all get back about the same time. A mirror that was at the bottom of the staircase was shattered into about 20 pictures, and I can show you the picture of it right here. Thanks for the show note, Colton. Important to know is that the before and after picture, they're about 10 feet apart. So it's not like the mirror just slid off the wall and broke. It's like halfway down the hall, and it's in quite a few pieces. So we're like, yeah, it's active already. Let's get to it. Well, I was coming off night shift. I didn't sleep on the way to Toronto. I didn't sleep all the way to London. I didn't sleep on the train. So it's like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. Everyone else is like, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon for me. And I'm like, it's like 9 a.m. for me, and it's time for me to go to bed. So I sleep for a couple hours, sleep right through the best parts of their first night's investigation.
Okay, so you slept in the house?
Oh, yeah. I stayed in the house. So
Nice.
Richard, Linda, and Jason all had hotel rooms. Well, I'm the poor kid on the team by far. And so they sprung and got a second bed in one of the hotel rooms. So if I needed to, I could get out of the house. But I slept in that house for 5 days. Really important to know. The week after we were there, one of the big paranormal investigation teams that branched off of another big douchebags team, which I'll just leave it there. I'm not going to name names. They claimed to have conducted the longest continuous investigation at 48 hours. And I was like, you assholes, I was there for 5 days. Best 5 days of sleep I've ever gotten, ever. Crappy mattresses, but slept like a baby every night, every afternoon, every afternoon.
Charlie sus.
Charlie's very sus. Very sus. So
I don't think Charlie ever came out of that place.
We have the mirror break. That's day 1. We have a couple odds and ends happen. We think we're hearing some activity, and it turns out to just be the neighbor with his girlfriend. Leaving that one there. We had a lot of fun with that one. We thought we were really talking to something like active and talking back to us and making like pounding sounds every once in a while. Nope.
Lots of ghostly wails and
lots of ghostly wails. Now, what's fantastic is she was actually very, very sweet and actually made us tea for the rest of the week. So like she'd come over like 2 or 3 times a day and make us tea, which was great. It was hard to look her in the face, honestly. Yeah. So that's day 2.
Oh, come on, we're the prudes that left
we're the prudes.
England.
So come to day 3. We have the entire house wired for sound. There's video in almost every room. There's audio in almost every room. Everyone's got all of the devices, except for we always save one room in the house as a room where you can scratch your butt, pick your nose, burp, belch, fart, whatever you want to do. And that's normally where the food is. So it's the kitchen. And we didn't really think about it. But there was a fair amount of activity reported before we arrived in the kitchen. And Day 3, I feel like my feet are being held against the ground. And I just get knocked over. And I'm laying on my back. I hit the ground. But my feet never moved from the spot they were in. And that was terrifying. Okay? That was day 3. Day 4, I am standing within about 3 feet of that same spot, leaning over the dinner table, looking at the dinner menu for what we're about to order, which is doner kebab, basically heroes. I just feel my back light on fire, like I've just been mauled by a bear. Like it's hot and red and fiery. And I mentioned to Richard, like, man, my back feels like it's on fire. He's like, well, lift your shirt. He's like, holy shit, Charlie, you've been scratched. And I've got 3 scratch marks from about the middle of my right shoulder blade to my left hip. And I'm going to show that picture here. Thanks for the show notes, Colton. They got out the thermal imaging camera and everything, and they were just amazed about how bad my back was scratched. I stayed out of the house for a couple of hours after that. I did sleep in the house that night. That was still pretty cool.
The ghost was very respectful of your sleep.
Respectful
that
of
was
my
nice.
sleep. Yeah, my body and, autonomy and all that, not so much.
Yeah, but sleep. No,
Yeah.
Even ghosts have lines.
Right. And, just for scale, I can't actually reach the spot on my back where I was scratched. I had rotator cuff surgery done on my left shoulder in high school, so I can't reach that part of my
I was going to say you're too buff to do that.
No, it has nothing to do with buff, and you'll see in the picture, I actually have a muffin top in that picture, and I'm not proud of it, but it's true. So there's just no way I can reach that spot of my back, and certainly don't feel like Richard or Jason or Linda attacked me. I'm actually on a TV show called Haunted Case Files for this investigation, and they do a very good job of dramatizing the events, and they make it seem like it all happened in the span of a couple hours. But rest assured, I did not scream at any point, and they make a point of making me sound like I'm screaming in the episode. I never scream. Anyways, so fast forward to the last night of the investigation. I'll show the last picture of my investigation here. And it was taken in front of the house, full moon, had the full Pontefract team, every one of the local investigators and our full team in-house. Andrew Cooper was joining us, a couple other people. And, honestly, other than what the mirror, me getting knocked over, and me being scratched, it was a quiet investigation. We only had weird lights, weird sounds, other people hearing things, just every other time that I was asleep. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It was, without a doubt, the best vacation I've ever taken so far. I'll say that, because I'm supposed to take a really nice cruise to Italy next year. Fingers crossed COVID doesn't screw that up. But, it was a fantastic 5 days. Caught my train on the way back, got into London like 10 a.m., and I walked 26.9 miles all the way around London. I hit everywhere except for 2 places. I missed the last tour of the day at the Globe Theater, which bummed me out. And I didn't get to go to the bar that I wanted to because it was on the wrong end of town. And it was where all of the victims of Jack the Ripper had their last drink before being murdered. That's still on my bucket list. But Imperial War Museum, the 10 Downing Street's underground bunkers, Churchill's bunkers, Parliament, all the way around. It was fantastic. One of the best trips I've ever taken. So,
would you recommend to others?
Oh, absolutely. And if you can stay in the Pontefract house, there is respectfully nothing around it. Like, it is a very quiet Midlands town. there's a Haribo factory nearby. That's it.
The gummy bears?
The gummy bears.
Yeah.
Haunted gummy bears.
Yes, not so much. So how the house actually got its name of the Black Monk House was story has it that a monk in the 1500s molested a girl, was caught by the townsfolk, and burned at the stake and then thrown down a well. Well, this house is built on top of the well. And in the 70s, one of the young children that lived in the house had the sensation of being dragged up the stairs by a black shadow figure. I'm not sure how you can have that sensation. Whether it happened or not is completely irrelevant. There are reports that it snowed inside the house in the middle of July. I will say that again, that it snowed in the house in the middle of July.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and multiple eyewitness reports saying, yeah, it happened. So, it's a weird house. It's a very weird house. But, yeah, if you guys ever get to go to Leeds, Pontefract, 30 East Drive, top of the hill.
So most importantly, which airline did you fly?
Yes, that's the important question there.
I
Call
flew
back
British
all the way to the
Airways.
beginning.
I flew British Airways.
Nice. Got some
Yep.
Avios.
First one was a 737-700, and then the second one was a 747. I want to say it was a -4, -5, but
Okay.
it wasn't one of the cool ones.
Well, 747s are all cool.
Yeah, yeah. But I was in the tail, like 5 rows from the front, or from the back, rather.
Still cool aircraft.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Sorry for hijacking that. No,
Yeah,
that's an awesome story.
Yeah.
I appreciate
It is.
that. Thanks for sharing that with us on this spooky day.
Yes. Hey, the best part about it is we get an extra hour of Halloween this year. That's the only good part of 2020 so far.
Oh yeah,
Not for
because
me.
we-
And it's a blue moon.
Yeah, he lives in the
good.
only sensible state.
Time
As
is
far as
constant
time,
here
yeah.
in the middle of the desert.
Come on, it's
As it fucking
2020.
should be.
We have LED light bulbs. We do not need this saving of time BS.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. So, in the spirit of going away, how about we sail somewhere on a cruise?
Sail
of
away,
the damned?
sail away, sail away.
Yeah, so my scary story begins all the way back on March 14th, when the CDC first issued a no-sail order for cruise ships.
Ah, yes, 27 years ago.
27 and a half.
It's now
Yeah,
March
CDC has now
700.
said that, CDC has announced that cruise ships now have the go-ahead to set sail in the U.S. after months of uncertainty. But no passengers are allowed.
There's 2020 for you. Okay.
I could
I was
could
gonna say-
actually
Yeah.
see why.
We just passed 100,000 cases a day. Like, how are they going to start sailing?
No, okay. So here's my projection. So a lot of these like empty airline flights, or even the flights to nowhere that people are to an extent criticizing, and I can understand why, is because the airlines have to make a flight anyway with aircraft just to make sure everything's all copacetic and stuff, because airplanes don't like to sit for long periods of time. So I wonder how, if cruise ships, if they have to undergo sea trials or something, and they need to...
I would
I'm
argue
wondering.
a ship of that size. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Tell us the truth.
So on that, like, the interesting thing, if you've watched any YouTube or documentaries on it, because I found this very interesting. A lot of them still have crew on board, and they basically kind of come into port, hang out, but they continue to operate off of bunker fuel and internal generators. The diesel engines are still going. And then in order to dump their waste, they travel back out into international waters and then come back in. So a lot of them are not actually inactive from a engine standpoint. They're not, just being
They're not
shut
mothballed.
off and moored up, because there aren't enough locations for all of these ships to actually be in port at the same time.
So yeah,
So
that's intriguing.
So what's actually interesting is a U.S. destroyer, the USS Stout, actually just broke a record for 215 days at sea without making a port call. And if you look at the outside, which I'm going to show right here, thanks for the show notes, Colton, its hull looks absolutely ravaged. These ships need regular external maintenance.
Wait. Are you saying that this is the last ship?
The last ship just made a port call, yes.
Oh my
that show.
god.
And 2020 gets spicier.
Yeah.
Let's hope they have the cure.
Yeah, but there is a large amount of rust on the outside of this boat. You can see the paint at the waterline is peeling. These ships, even warships, are designed to not be at sea for a long period of time with R&R in dry dock. And, with the no sail order right now, before today at least, they weren't allowed to even relocate from port to port in order to make those maintenance calls. So they're going to need a lot of maintenance time. So if I'm going to make it to Italy...
So you're saying invest in ship maintenance companies?
No, because they've been broke for the last 6 months.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Buy
yeah,
low.
Now
it's
is
a
a good
lull,
point
so
to invest.
because
Now,
then they're
actually,
gonna make money.
yesterday would have been a good day to do it.
That's
Yeah,
going to be
no.
one of the things I
Stonks.
learned over 2 weeks is how to invest too. So right now I have no idea. So yeah, don't
Yeah,
take stock
I-
advice
Take
from
advice
me.
from us.
Just wait for a week past the election and then buy.
Typically, it changes during last election. It was actually the inauguration, not the actual election.
Not during the lame duck session, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if you can go off of
Yeah, but-
past information. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Kind of a
So
weird year.
what this actually allows is, even though it says no passengers are allowed to board, they can take volunteers in order to test their COVID strategies,
My volunteers tribute.
essentially. Yeah, fuck that.
I already work with
There
COVID
is
people, so
no-
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
I may as well just go
I'm
do
in
it.
the ICUs.
I don't.
I transport patients on ventilators all the time. I'm in COVID units all the time. Bring it on. Bring it on.
I got asshole college kids coughing in my face that have it, so whatever.
I work in a bunker.
Yeah, I'm like Drac. I work in the basement of my building that's been reinforced because at one point it was the Office of Emergency Management, so it's got double layer concrete. So
Charlie,
yeah,
a
I
TWIL
understand
field
that.
trip. Let's go.
Let's go.
Too bad internet sucks on cruise ships.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
It's my time to
I mean,
unplug.
that's-
Or we'll get that Starlink, which actually launched recently. So
For a cool $600 intro fee and $100 a month. Very disappointed with
Yep,
Elon
that's
on that.
that's not,
That's
for
not
equipment.
terrible, actually.
I mean-
and
for-
it's still that's just for beta access. So
yeah, it's clear to me that you haven't lived anywhere where you required to have satellite internet. It's
Not this
really,
decade.
really rough. Good
like per
point.
month, that's actually not.
That's
Terrible,
less than I.
honestly, that's less than I pay per month.
Well, actually, right now
Is
that's
there
less than
any-
I pay because I had to upgrade my plan because I ran out of data because the lake ran dry. Thanks, GCI. Thanks.
Thank you for sponsoring our
And
podcast.
banned.
They didn't sponsor our podcast. Don't sue us.
No. No one sponsors us. We have ad slots available.
And
The
here,
sucking
we'll
noise
put a
is
show note
deafening.
there.
We are happy to shill for you.
Constantly.
Yeah. I don't know. You couldn't right now, given the situation, you could not pay me enough
Oh, if you're
to go
paying
on
me,
to.
wait, you guys are getting paid? If you pay me, I'm
I
going.
was going to say,
Okay.
yeah.
If you
Yeah,
pay
you
me,
could
I'm
pay
going.
me.
If you pay for my flight, if you pay for the cruise,
No.
I mean,
yeah.
but here's the thing: they're testing their strategies to prevent it. It's not like they're going in blind, and they want to succeed. So they probably theoretically,
It's not you and 4,000 of your friends going and coughing on each other. It's you and like 200 people on a boat.
you
of
just
5,000.
hang out on a boat.
That's
I'm
That's
I'm
a-
for
I mean,
this.
I guess maybe it depends on like the company and whether they're doing a very like, okay, we're going to start very small and slow and build up from there, or if it's someone who's like, we're going to find like, can we do 75%? Oh no, that broke out into COVID.
And that's how everyone died.
Let's back it down to 60%.
It depends. I would have to do some thorough research on the ventilation systems of the
Not
cruise
allowed.
ship and what they've done.
Thorough research is not
don't
allowed.
even have to.
You're not allowed to do that on this podcast.
Well,
So you
I was
just
going to say that is
Well, I'm
the
changing.
You don't even
tagline
have
of this
to do
podcast.
research on that. Just look at like how other past infections have gone for ships.
yes,
like
who
that.
have gone
I mean, look
for
at
ships.
how earlier this
yeah,
year.
yeah, and this is now, which means they've hopefully made some adjustments.
Well, you'd also have
Like
to
if
make
you do the
sure,
same
like,
thing and expect different results, that's insanity.
would they let you back into the? I mean, I'm sure by now they'd let you back into the country, right? At least in the United States, they'd probably. I mean, as Charlie said, 100,000 new cases a day. What's another 200?
Right.
Oh, that's
So
interesting because of the, if I recall, because of the Jones Act, don't they actually have to go to another country?
Yes. So in order, they are not allowed to be based and have a destination in a U.S. port. If they do both, then they have to have 100% or a like 70% U.S. based crew. If they
And none of these do.
right none
Yeah,
of
they're
them
all based
do.
in like Panama or
Right.
Jakarta.
Jakarta
Yeah.
or Denmark or Netherlands or whatever. So they have to have a destination that is outside the continental United States, outside of the 50 U.S. states, in order to make their crew ratio what they want, which is like 10% American and then 90% everybody else.
It also screws up shipping costs to Alaska too, because it means that they can't hire labor. Like this is a contentious subject, but it's like things shipping between Mexico and the U.S. are cheaper than things shipped between the continental U.S. and Alaska that actually have to be like barge shipped because of Jones Act.
Yep. See, as nutty as Cody is about flying, I am about cruising, and I will go into a nice long dissertation about how to do cruising with celebrity, like Cody will go on with Alaska. So, look forward to that one.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I do want to go on a cruise. That is on my bucket list. I want to go on like a long cruise that hits multiple destinations and goes like around the world. I think that would be very fun.
See, that would be fun in my
But
opinion.
not right now.
Yeah, I've been on one cruise and I wasn't really. It was all right, and I think it was just because the median age on the ship was like 50, and I was 20, so that wasn't exactly super fun for me.
All-inclusive drink packages, so you can just get Schlitz the entire time. That'll make a big difference. And being 20, I can understand why that's not fun. Going with the right cruise line so you're not dealing with just crying kids everywhere, and not just old people everywhere.
So no Disney cruise.
Yeah, no Disney cruises, no
You're-
Carnival.
And I think you're right about Celebrity. I think Celebrity is probably our 20 to our age group.
Yeah, Celebrity is really like 30 to like 50. There's going to be a lot of 60 and 70-year-olds on these cruises. The couple that we cruise with are in their 60s, and they've gone on like 30 cruises with Celebrity, so they've hooked me into it. But yeah, things to look forward to in 2021 if we get there.
Not holding my breath on
or
that.
2022. Yeah. So, I also have two like little side bits of funness.
Nibblings.
Ooh. Are they
So-
spooky?
Or tasty?
One
is it a trick or a
is
treat?
just for privacy concerns.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
But let's get into the more useful for your average person. Up until now, there's been one feature that Teams has been lacking, and it's finally in. You want to take a guess at what that feature is?
Recording.
I read
No.
this even, and I forgot what
I've-
it was. I
Something about
read
notifications?
it's what Drac is doing right now, if I remember correctly. It was
No,
the
they had that.
green oh, no, they had that.
Remember,
Okay.
No,
we
they've
had that.
had
We
green
played with
screen
that
for
during
a
our
while.
very first
Oh
episode.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Crap. What was it? Okay.
What is it, Brandon?
It could make me go, oh.
You can now appear offline.
Wow.
Oh, that's only great for productivity.
That's sad that it actually took them to this point to do that. Considering MSN Messenger, you could do that with MSN Messenger, and I used to use the crap out of that program in 2002.
Yeah. Yeah, I cannot believe it took this long
Wow.
for it to come. It was one of those features I was looking for, like when we first started using it a lot, and I was home, and so my home computer had Teams, and when I would want to, like, okay, it's 5:00, I'm done for today, I need to stop receiving messages from people in the West Coast asking me to do stuff who are still at work, I would have to like just log out of my profile on the desktop so that then I could go to playing games, because I was working from home at, the start of all this before I got furloughed, and I would want to stop receiving Teams messages while I was playing video games because I was off the clock because 5:00 hit and I was done. But now it's a thing. So now you can appear offline.
Good
Go
job,
Teams.
Microsoft. Only
So
Yay!
took you forever.
privacy spooky and
But-
go.
Privacy spooky. Yahoo.
No.
So, what is one thing that Bing has had and then got out of, and then Google has a massive market share of?
Web browser?
GPS?
Mobile traffic.
Who
Mobile
the-
devices.
Yahoo now?
Are you telling me people are using Yahoo on their mobile devices?
Even better, Yahoo now has a $50 phone.
What?
Yep.
Man, they are just
It's purple.
Makes sense.
I wonder if
Because
this
of course it is.
So, okay, I want to know where this is popular, because I have a feeling like it's, underserved markets, really.
Eastern
who's to say it's popular at
Eastern
all?
Calgary.
Yeah, I have not said
Yahoo,
that
eh?
it's popular. I'm not saying it's popular.
That sounds
Oh,
like
you're just saying
a
it
death knell.
exists.
I'm
It's a
just
death
saying
knell
it's now
right there.
available.
Okay.
Who needs a burner phone?
That's
Yahoo Mobile will have unlimited phone service.
What does that
Huh.
mean? Which version
Okay, do you
of
know who
this,
owns-
this, or
Yeah, well,
this
is
is
it
that?
a river or a lake?
no, I don't know yet. I was gonna say nobody knows yet, but let's be honest. I researched this morning and threw it in a tab and was like, this is really cool. I might talk about this if we need some extra goodness to
Tiddly
get away
bits.
from the creepiness that was Cody getting scratched or Charlie getting scratched by a poltergeist.
I'm gonna blame the Force user here.
Very sus. Definitely him.
Most
hey,
tough.
I am an inspirational
vote to
leader.
kick.
I lift people up. It's okay.
Just give them that real shock to their
You
system,
have to
you know?
lift them up, not drag
You know,
them down.
actually,
It's okay.
we've been pointing fingers at each other, and we haven't really looked at the one person that doesn't know. He's just confused. That's what's going on. Like, isn't that the
It's just
perfect
like, what
alibi?
button did I just press?
Huh?
Did I kill you?
Oh,
Oh, no.
not
I didn't mean to.
me.
Oh,
Red sus.
self-reported. Oops. God
Red is
damn it.
sus.
No,
That
guys,
is
I just
sus.
found it. It was black. It had to be black.
It's totally black. Totally did that. Totally did it. He did it. He's sus. He's sus. Where?
But yeah, Yahoo Mobile is Yahoo owned by Verizon.
What?
I wonder why they chose to do. Yeah, they owned it for a while now, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to say that's like a Halloween resurrected from the dead thing. You know, they're setting something up. They got to be. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Is if you, I believe we talked about it in our privacy episode about like your mobile phone is the most important thing that apps can have access to, that companies can have access to.
You know what? Ooh.
Your mobile phone.
You know, another thing with at least in the United States, they're really starting to get serious about possibly calling Google a monopoly. Maybe they're trying to set themselves up to pick up some of the pieces of the market. I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Well, kind of like Microsoft did back in the day. Go, hey, Apple, we're going to bail you out because
Yeah, they're
we
just
need a
setting. I
competitor."
mean,
Okay.
Verizon is not. Ooh,
Then I'm officially waiting for the Alta Vista phone to come out.
Netscape, bro.
No, Lycos. Wait for Lycos.
Ask Jeeves.
Ask.
Oh, God.
I don't have
saying
to say, hey
DuckDuckGo
Siri.
phone.
I have to say, ask
It's an imaginary
Jeeves.
phone.
Hey, Jeeves.
Hey, Jeeves.
Yeah, it's not the same
that
if you
would
don't
be a
have
lot
Jeeves.
cooler than saying,
just
"Hey,
asking.
Hey, Jeeves.
It's kind of like changing find to search in Windows, like our old coworker used to say that his wife got pissed off when they changed that terminology in Windows because those are two different things. Finding means
You
you're
either-
actually finding something. Search means, whatever.
I would say that English lesson is a good thing to end on. Wouldn't you say that, Brandon?
I agree. Finding is not the same as seeking, is it, Seeker?
Fuck, red is sus.
All right. Well, Colton, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me apparently floating through space because I got ejected from the from the
podcast.
from the fucking
Red
podcast.
was the imposter.
Oh, Among Us. What a good month it's been. You can find me on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, all under the same name, Seeker4761.
That's how many tasks that he said he was doing, but not actually doing.
Dude, I'm terrible at that game. It's a miracle I get any fucking tasks done in that goddamn game. So I appreciate it, but no.
I swear, guys, I'm almost done.
Shit, I have like 9 tasks. I've done none of them. Some of our user base is not going to understand that, but that's okay. I'm also a contributor to thetechpirate.net. I recently did a new article. Check it out. Should be good. And Cody, where can we find you?
So I am Cody Stratman, also known as Psychonitrous, also known as Striving to Fail, which I will have more content on soon. I got my GoPro Hero 7 back for my drone, so I'll have more FPV footage, and yeah, maybe Twitch one of these days. Who knows? We'll see. Over to you, Mjolnir, Thor, Hammer Guy.
I am Charlie Stiffler, also known as Milnor. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, OnlyFans. I don't know. Not really.
He's got good content.
You're going to see me contributing my first article to the techpirate.net at some point in the next month or so. I'm kind of giving myself a little bit of breathing room because it's going to be the first time I'm writing an article for the real world. So please forgive me. Brandon, please take us away.
I am Brandon Vader, also known as Dracanus. You can find me on thetechpirate.net, on YouTube under The Tech Pirate. I do also have 1 or 2 videos under just Brandon Vader on YouTube as well. I think I've got one of my earlier motorcycle rides from the year on there. I honestly need to do more on that channel too. I have lots of footage that now that it's getting to be winter and terrible and I'm going to be like, oh, motorcycling, I should probably go through. Otherwise, you can find me, here every week at some random time when we actually record. Like All Hallows Eve this week.
So that is actually a note that I want to make. We are switching our recording times. So previously we recorded on Thursdays, and then supposedly I would get the episode out by Saturday, and that happened 50% of the time. And now we are going to be recording on Saturdays. I will do my best to get them out Sunday or Monday, but it's going to be a little bit of a trial. So thank you for sticking with us if you have. And
Thank you
if
for
you
making
haven't,
the change, guys.
yeah, if you haven't stuck with us, then try it.
Thank you for being here on this one.
Yeah. Caress the like button. Caress it.
My mom thinks we're interesting.
So does my dad.
So's my mom. To all the parents out there,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And to our one...
And thank you, everyone else.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you to everyone else for joining us on this episode of This Week I'm Learning. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as on YouTube at This Week I'm Learning. For you social media peeps out there, you can find us on Twitter at THISTWIL. If you'd like to contact us, you can always send us an email to twil@thetechpirate.net. See y'all next week. And happy Halloween. The dark side.
He doesn't have cookies. It's a lie.
True.
Sus.
I have airheads,
Yes,
though.
Airheads.
Plenty of airheads.
Not Sour
No
Patch
cookies.
Kids. Or Sour Patch Kids.
I prefer airheads because
They
you have
get
more
stuck in your
variety
teeth.
of airheads.
No, Sour
You
Patch. Plus,
Ooh.
you get like
the extreme bites are actually pretty good. They're pretty close to Sour Patch.
Seems like we might have a
Are
rift
looking for that,
forming
or
on
you can
TWIL.
have the standard airheads.
Smarties, baby. Smarties are spree. Just saying.
wait, Smarties, the chalk
Reese's.
candy.
No.
Reese's.
Oh.
Oh.
just
Yeah,
have
you
Reese's,
Tums.
yes.
can,
I have some frozen
Reese's
white
is
chocolate
alright.
Reese's.
All right,
that
Reese's
I
are the
destroy.
shit.
Almond Joy,
No.
Tootsie Roll flavors.
Why would you eat an
Yes.
almond joy?
The
You're
flavored
not even
one.
kidding.
Fuck yeah.
I would see.
Oh yeah, coconut
Vanilla
chocolate.
and lime.
Okay, here's my idea. You make a mounds, but with milk chocolate. That's my perfect candy.
God, it's.
If
fucking-
you're gonna do
Wait, is that the
chocolate,
coconut one?
Fruit coconut.
Lindor
Coconut.
truffle.
Oh God.
Lindor. Lint. Yeah, that's where you want to
Yes.
go.
Lint.
Need to have peanuts in it. Needs a little bit of crunch.
No,
Okay,
you
then
don't need.
what's the Ferrero Rocher? Or Ferrero Rocher?
I haven't had one in too
Those are
long.
pretty good.
I don't know. I don't remember them being that great.
Gotta look at my kid's candy haul.
All right, all
Oh,
right.
worst candy. Dots. Worst candy.
Are you
No.
crazy?
I agree.
Dots,
No!
circus peanuts,
Okay,
and
yes.
0 bars.
No.
The worst.
How
What
is
was the third
dots even on your list?
Of the
What
worst
happened
candy,
to you? What did dots do to you?
They're not Tootsie Rolls.
Did it pull out a filling?
I-
Because I could understand that.
Brandon, go. Did you just slap yourself? I'm so
No,
glad
he
over
slapped
the
his
corner.
microphone.
And
He
I
slapped
slapped
the
the
shit out
mic.
of his microphone.